we're here at the LonRes 2026 summer party. We're lucky enough to be joined by Marc von Grundherr from Benham and Reeves. Marc, thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. And I might just start off by asking you what your role is at Benham and Reeves and how long you've been doing that.
Sure. So, as he said, my name is Marc von Grundherr. I'm a director of Benham and Reeves. I've been working in residential lettings for the last almost 30 years, since I was one. So almost 30 years. And I'm now head of lettings, director of the business. I'm a shareholder. And today as a business, we manage 3,500 homes in London.
Wow.
We're only London focused, 21 offices throughout. We have 14 offices overseas, which all deal with overseas investors into the London market.
Wow. Great. Awesome. And obviously there's been some big change in the rental industry this year. Some would argue probably the biggest change in a decade.
Yep.
So how would you say things have changed since the introduction of the Renters' Rights Act?
So the Renters' Rights Act, in my view, is a lot of noise. There are changes, 100%. There are fundamental changes that affect what landlords must do.
Yeah.
But actually, I think within a year's time, it'll be just the norm and no one will be talking about it. But education is the key thing. This morning, I had a call from a landlord from Hong Kong. I've done now 67, because we counted, webinars and talks on this topic. 67 over the course of the last 17 months, just under 18 months, talking about it. And this client rang me this morning, said, look, I've seen lots of noise, seen the newsletter. Marc, can you just run me through? Half an hour running through the same thing. I've done a series of videos of each snippet that changes, which is on our website that people can watch if they want to. But honestly, fundamentally, the change is, if you're an investor and own a property, nothing really changes because you buy a property to make money.
Yeah.
The only reason you should really be focused is on changing your tenant is if he's not paying, nothing has changed, you can get him out.
Yeah.
If he won't pay an increase, nothing has changed because the law is protecting landlords. If you want to sell, you can give the tenants notice to evict. If you want to live in it yourself, you can give the tenants notice and use the property. So actually, in terms of the market, while I may or may not agree with all of it, it's the law, and frankly, years' time it'll be gone. We as a business have noticed no change, except the one killer is that rental payments up front. You can't do that, which is a massive issue for the London market, where we have, as a business, we have the best part of over 500 international students renting from us. Last year, they all paid money up front.
Yeah.
This year, we can't do that. So they've all got to pay for a guarantor, or landlord's got to take it on the chin.
Okay.
And so that's the key change that we're educating people. It's all about education, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome. And so not like a fundamental or seismic shift necessarily, but maybe in that subsect there is.
100%.
And we hear a lot of chat about landlords exiting London and selling up. Is that something which you're experiencing and you project going forward?
If I'm honest, so as a business, as I said, we have about 3,500 landlords. We have properties we manage. Most of them are actually one and two landlords that own one or two properties. We have a few larger ones, but the bulk of ours are individual landlords. 2025, we lost about 60, so under 2% sold.
Wow.
However, we added almost 100 through acquisition, not through necessarily investment, but landlords adding to us. So actually we're net positive. And that is not like many of our competitors buying other businesses.
Yeah.
That is about us on our hard work and on our network growing it. So with landlords exiting, 100%. If you surveyed 99 landlords, 100 landlords, 99 would say, yes, I want to exit if I get the right price.
Yeah.
I would. If someone offered me a big price, I would exit. But the reality is, their loan to value has come down now.
Yeah.
I am seeing now, if you're not having to buy new and pay stamp duty and you're getting a good yield, which the yields are up, things like rental check are increasing yields, capital values have been flat, but yields are up. You know, average yield has moved up in London in the prime areas. Even in super prime, we're seeing rents up, yields up. So therefore, we're finding landlords much more, they'd love to sell if they get the right price, much happier to hold. And this is shown in our own data of landlords we've lost and landlords staying with it.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that have sold they've owned it for long. We analyse it. They owned it for a long time. One landlord had it for 25 years. She's in Hong Kong. She's worried because she's 87.
Yeah.
She might pass and wants to save inheritance tax. Sold one asset. And these kind of stories happen. These are not just everybody running for the hills in spite of what journalists say and in spite of what other people are putting out. We as a business have not seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we're not going to start seeing it now. I've jinxed myself. But generally, I think property is a long-term investment.
Yeah.
And it's showing better yields now than it ever did. Even with increased interest rates, seeing better yields. So, no, we're not seeing any exodus.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for your time, Mark. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Great.